I have a fantastic relationship with Mexico, okay? I have personally met with the Mexican president. I forget his name. I think it was something like Mr. Guacamole. I'm sorry, excuse me, Senor Guacamole. I also met his beautiful wife, Taquito, and their twin children, Chips and Salsa.
Alec Baldwin didn't just take a shot. He launched a full-scale comedic assault live on TV, leaving the audience gasping, roaring with laughter, and wondering if Trump's phone was already buzzing with an all-caps Twitter meltdown. With the precision of a seasoned sniper, Baldwin delivered punchlines so sharp they should have come with a warning label. Brutal, without a doubt. Hilarious, even more so. One moment, the studio was intact. The next, it was a raging inferno of a roast. And Trump, he never saw it coming.
I asked President Xi if they had a problem in China, but he said, no, me no like does better with the voice, I think I must say.
China, president of...
It was meant to be just another routine live TV appearance, some light banter, a little promotion, a few polite laughs. But then, someone said, that name. In an instant, Alec Baldwin's expression shifted. The energy in the room crackled, and the audience held its breath. Everyone could feel it. Something was about to happen. And oh, did it happen.
Is nobody's actually forced to watch. I found that out. We don't force anyone to watch.
You're choosing to watch, yeah.
Yeah, but Trump forces people to listen to him. I guess we call them government employees. But anyway, we call them the cabinet. But anyway.
You tweeted back, agony though it may be, I'd like to hang in there, at least for the impeachment hearings, the resignation speech, the farewell helicopter ride to Mar-a-Lago.
Baldwin didn't just respond. He went off like a bomb. What began as a smirk quickly escalated into a full-blown roast, and before anyone could blink, he was in full Trump mode. Squinted eyes, pursed lips, wildly exaggerated hand gestures. It was as if Saturday Night Live had hijacked the entire studio.
Trump is a maniac who convinced people that he should become the president of the United States.
Baldwin seamlessly morphed into his eerily spot-on Trump impression, drawing out his words in a mock pleading tone while his hands flailed like a malfunctioning animatronic at a discount theme park. With every exaggerated gesture and over-the-top delivery, he nailed Trump's signature mannerisms with surgical precision, sending the audience into hysterics.
The following is a rebroadcast of Donald Trump's first press conference as president-elect.
Hello, thank you for coming. I'd like to start by answering the question that's on everyone's mind. Yes, this is real life. This is really happening. On January 20th, I, Donald J. Trump, will become the 45th President of the United States. And then 2 months later, Mike Pence will become the 46th.
The audience lost it. Some clutched their sides in laughter while others sat, frozen, mouths agape, unsure if they were witnessing comedy gold or the start of an actual political crisis. Even the host, whoever had the misfortune of sitting across from Baldwin at that moment, was caught between hysterical laughter and mild panic. So, what triggered it?
Hey, by the way, Alec Baldwin, did he pull the trigger? No, I think he's a sick person. I've watched him. He's a psycho. Something happened there. That's a strange deal.
Could have been a recent Trump rant calling Baldwin a washed-up hack. Or maybe an old Saturday Night Live clip resurfaced, reminding Trump of the 4 years of relentless mockery he endured. Or perhaps it was simply Trump existing. Whatever the trigger, Baldwin seized the moment, grabbed the mic, both literally and figuratively, and unleashed a monologue so scorching it probably set off smoke detectors in Trump Tower. The best part? He wasn't even trying to be diplomatic. There was no agree to disagree, no softened jabs, just pure, unfiltered comedic warfare. Another eruption of laughter shook the studio. Someone in the crowd actually whooped. Meanwhile, in some undisclosed location, Trump's phone screen was likely lighting up with frantic messages from his advisors. Do not respond. But Baldwin wasn't done. He went after everything. The rants, the meltdowns, or rather, the truth, Social meltdowns because, well, Twitter said no thanks. The golf obsession, the hair that defies both science and logic. Nothing was safe. At one point, he even grabbed his own hair and dramatically yanked it, just to prove his was real. The audience screamed. Cameras caught people wiping away tears of laughter. The internet was already gearing up for meme overload. Then came the moment, the one that would break the internet. Baldwin turned to the camera, straightened his tie, and delivered one final knockout line. For a beat, the audience hesitated, unsure how to process it. And then, boom. Thunderous applause, a standing ovation, people leaping out of their seats like they'd just won the lottery. Meanwhile, somewhere in Mar-a-Lago, a phone screen was taking a relentless beating. Each furious tap sent advisors into silent panic mode. The tension in the room was thick enough to cut with a gold-plated steak knife. Desperate whispers of "Sir, maybe let this one go," fell on deaf ears. If Hollywood and Washington ever had a crossover episode, it would be the never-ending feud between Alec Baldwin and Donald Trump. What started as a Saturday Night Live skit spiraled into one of the most absurd, hilarious, and chaotic celebrity political rivalries of our time. It was reality TV-level drama, only with more Twitter rants, bad tans, and perfectly timed eye rolls. The moment Baldwin first donned that infamous orange wig, pursed his lips, and nailed the exaggerated hand gestures, the battle lines were drawn. His Trump impression wasn't just an impression. It was a full-blown performance, a cultural event. People weren't just tuning into SNL for comedy anymore. They were showing up to watch Baldwin roast Trump in real time, week after week. And Trump? Oh, he was not laughing. Most presidents take SNL parodies in stride, maybe even with a self-deprecating chuckle. But Trump? He responded the only way he knew how, by rage tweeting at 3 a.m. He labeled Baldwin dying and mediocre, which was ironic coming from someone whose Home Alone 2-2 cameo could be considered the weakest acting performance of the 90s. But Baldwin didn't flinch. If anything, Trump's tantrums only fueled the fire. The more the former president complained, the more SNL doubled down, turning Baldwin's impression into a staple of the show. The exaggerated voice, the absurd, one-liners, the over-the-top mannerisms. It was comedy gold. Even people who avoided politics found themselves glued to the screen just to see what Baldwin would do next. Trump, however, wasn't just upset. He was fuming. His outrage was immediate and relentless. He accused SNL of being unfair, biased, and not funny, completely ignoring the fact that the show had been roasting every president since Nixon. But Trump's obsession with Baldwin's impression was different. He took it personally. And when Trump fumes, the internet feasts. As the feud escalated, Baldwin only became more emboldened. In interviews, he teased that he didn't even have to try. The material practically wrote itself. And honestly, he wasn't wrong. Every rally, every unhinged press conference, every social media meltdown handed Baldwin fresh content on a silver platter. It was like having a never-ending script delivered straight from the Oval Office. Then came the moment that truly solidified this as the pettiest, most bizarre political meets Hollywood showdown of the decade. When Alec Baldwin got arrested after a parking dispute, reporters asked Trump for his reaction. His response? And just like that, the saga continued, another chapter in the most ridiculous, meme-worthy feud of modern times. Trump's response to Baldwin's arrest was classic, smug, dismissive, and dripping with pettiness. He even joked, "I bet you CNN's going to say, Trump refuses to denounce violence in his hometown." Never mind the fact that Baldwin's so-called violent act was a parking dispute, not some Hollywood brawl. But in Trump's world, nuance had never been a strong suit. The more Trump lashed out, the more Saturday Night Live doubled down. Skits became even more exaggerated. the writing sharper, and Baldwin's impression bolder. Every insult Trump hurled only gave the show more material, turning Baldwin's Trump into must-see television. What started as a single impersonation had transformed into a cultural phenomenon, proving that Trump's outrage wasn't silencing anyone. It was fueling an entire comedic movement. Hollywood was still reeling from the tragic accident, with Baldwin facing the kind of crisis no actor ever wants to endure. But leave it to Trump to see a devastating moment and think, hey, how can I make this about me? Instead of offering the usual thoughts and prayers routine, he went full conspiracy mode, tossing out the wild claim that Baldwin might have done it on purpose. Yes, you read that right. The same guy who once stared directly at a solar eclipse decided this was the moment to drop an unsolicited opinion. If Baldwin had been drinking coffee when he heard about it, it probably would have shot straight out of his nose. The feud had always been brutal, but this was like accusing Wile E. Coyote of intentionally running into an Acme anvil. Baldwin clapped back, calling the claim surreal, which was the polite way of saying, "Are you kidding me?" But of course, the damage was done. Somewhere, in a dimly lit basement, a guy was probably already photoshopping evidence. What should have been a conversation about film set safety instead turned into another Trump-fueled spectacle, with conspiracy theorists debating whether Baldwin was some kind of Hollywood supervillain. What was next? Accusing Tom Hanks of leading an underground spy ring? Oh, wait, that probably already happened in some corner of the internet.